Okay, hello everyone. My name is Doni Kurniawan, and in this video I will review another branch of linguistics, which is anthropolinguistic and ethnolinguistic. This both field uh, study language part of human culture, but they focus on slightly different perspective. In anthropolinguistic, look at the language as a general culture and social practice, while ethnolinguistic focus on language in relation to specific ethnic groups and a local knowledge system. In this video, I will explain 5 key concepts to help this field more clearly. Okay, the first key concept is language and culture. This idea shows that language doesn't not only reflect culture, but also help shape it. Culture, values, belief, and social structure are often encoded in language. For example, some languages have special honorific form to show respect or social hierarchy. This reflects how important age, status, or authority is in that culture. Contohnya ya di Jawa. Di Jawa, budaya menghormati orang tua itu sangat kuat. Ditambah lagi dengan bahasanya yang ditingkat-tingkatkan. Misalnya untuk anak muda, untuk sesama pakainya kowe. Untuk orang tua pakainya panjenengan. Nah, that's memperkuat lagi budaya tersebut lewat bahasa, diperkuat lagi. And then the second concept is linguistic relativity, closely related to worldview. So linguistic relativity suggests that the language we speak can influence how we think and see the world. Different language may categorize reality for different ways. For example, some languages have many words for directions based on the north, south, east, and west instead of left and right. Contoh lagi ya, ada bahasa Indonesia itu terkenal dengan bahasa yang sederhana dan kadang juga ambigu. Nah, sehingga budaya Indonesia itu banyak untuk untuk literatur atau intinya mudah untuk bermain bahasa karena bahasanya mudah dipelesetkan. Berbeda dengan bahasa Jerman yang sangat presisi, yang kadang satu kata saja bisa sangat filosofis. Nah, ini juga membuat pola pikir penutur bahasanya juga kadang sedikit berbeda atau bahkan sangat berbeda. And then the third concept is culture, meaning, and symbolism. Words often carry meanings that only be understood within a cultural context. These meanings are shared by members of the same culture. For example, certain animals may symbolize bravery, wisdom, or bad luck depending on the culture. Without understood the culture, the true meaning of these words can be misunderstood. And then the fourth concept is speech event and language as praxis. Speech event is a culturally recognized communication activity such as wedding speech, ritual, or storytelling. In this perspective, language is seen as social actions, not just a system of grammar. For example, storytelling in traditional community is not only about telling a story, but also about teaching values, history, and identity. And then the last concept is about research orientation and fieldwork. Nah, anthropolinguistic often use nomo, nomothetic approach, aiming to find general pattern across cultures. And ethnolinguistic usually use an Indiographic approach, focus on in-depth study of one specific ethnic group. Both approaches rely heavily on fieldwork, where researchers live in the community and observe natural language use, such as ritual, ceremonies, or oral traditions. Okay, to conclude anthropolinguistic and ethnolinguistic help us understand language as a culture practice, not just a language system. They show how language carries culture meaning, reflects worldview, and function in real social life. By studying these fields, we learn to appreciate language and culture diversity more deeply. And thank you for watching.